Hello, I'm Tim Maxwell. I'm going to give a little presentation or demonstration on repairing edge banding in a trailer once it's built. Do we have some edge banding that's maybe coming up here in the corners, or do we have some edge banding that's coming loose here in the center or in the corners, or maybe the galley top or the end of the panel? We're really going to cover the basics on edge banding repairs and the techniques used to successfully repair them. Before we get started, I'd like to go over to the main plant to actually see how we install edge banding. So from here, I'll see you in the main plant.
The main plant, and I really want to touch base on edge banding repairs and how to successfully complete the repairs. And what better place to start? It's over here in the main plant. Basically, when we put edge banding on, we got two types of machines. We got a machine over here that's going to do the curves. It's going to do anything as a radius, such as our locker ends, some of our galley tops, or tabletops, anything with the radius. And then we have our machine over here, and this machine is going to cover anything with the flat surface, such as our hall panels, our doors, our cabinet doors, things like that. And I'm just going to touch base on one of them, but where we're going to start is right over here. Okay, now this machine does everything that's got a radius to it. And it's going to do the radiuses like our doors here that I'm going to show you. But this one operates at about 160 degrees Celsius or 320 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll need to know that when it comes time for edge banding repairs and techniques later on. This edge banding does everything on curved radiuses. What I have here is a locker end. Just going to show you how it goes on. I start it, the glue comes through it. I make the corner. Okay, I'm going to trim the edges, and then this is going to go around the edge. It's just got a razor blade in it. And it's going to trim that. It's going to trim that off. I'll do the other side. Then trim it off, and there we have it. Nice flush. Now where the edge banding runs into trouble is if we have a little bit of lip up there, a lip that somebody can catch their finger on. So after a while they'll start catching their finger on that and peeling that back. That's where we see some of our edge banding issues. So we have this edge bander, and now I'm going to demonstrate the edge bander over there, the automatic edge bander. Now we're over here with the edge bander that's going to do the flat surfaces, such as the hall panels, the cabinet doors, the drawer faces, things of that nature. I got a flat panel here. I'll bring it up over on the machine, and it sends it through automatically. It'll go through, it'll apply the edge banding to the wood, it'll take it down, buff it, trim it, cut the ends off, and then it's going to bring it right back to me. We'll just watch that process here. It's got it done. Now it's going to come down the conveyor belt, bring it back to me, and I'll be able to show you the finished edge. I'll bring it up and I'll show you the edge. See, it's got the edges trimmed off. Our edge is flush, glued. That's a finished edge right there. So I'll pick it up and we'll open up the back doors on the back side. You guys can actually see the mechanical side of it. So here we're on the back side of the machine. We got the edge banding coming in. We got the edge banding coming in, going across our rollers. And it's going to apply the edge banding to the wood. Okay, the next station we do, we got our board coming down through, and you're going to see the board coming through there. We have our edge trimmers in. It's going to trim the edge. Here it comes. It trims the edge, and now it's going to come and trim the flat surfaces of it. It's going to run on through. The next station it's coming down, it's going to come to the buffer, and that's where we're going to buff up our two edges. Buff them up to make sure they're nice and smooth. It's going to come down to the edge then, back here, and then all the way back, and it completes the process. Okay, we washed the edge banders, both of them. We washed the one where we do our curved surfaces, the flat surfaces. Now let's go over inside a unit, actually get a panel, and we'll do some repairs together. See you soon.
Well, we're back from the main plant, and I'm sure you found that little tour is really going to be helpful for identifying some of the edge banding repairs and techniques that we use. Since the edge banding is put on with heat, remember it's about 320 degrees, a lot of times we can take an iron, and I have an iron here, and we can reactivate that glue and get our edge banding to lay back down. Our edge banding is actually made out of PVC, and so it's just like anything else. If you get PVC heated up, it's going to form that shape, and over time customers have drugged their hands across it or stuff, and it started to lay back down. There's a reason that it did, and remember, if we can catch a lip on it, see this has a slight lip to it here that I'm catching on, over time that's what's happened. So we want to repair the edge banding and then fix the initial problem. The first thing we want to do before we get started, we want to protect the galley top, or we want to protect the tabletop, or any of the components we're working around, we want to protect. If we're working some edge banding around the floor, we want to protect the floor. So always respect the customer's property and protect all the coverings and all the tables. Okay, so we want to do, I got my iron here, and believe it, this is a fairly simple iron. I want to get it hot to the touch. I don't want to give it overly hot. It takes about 320 degrees to do that. If I get it too hot, I'm going to shrink up the edge banding. So I just want it hot to the touch. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to come across, and I'm just going to start to bend it back in place. And if you can see, I'm reactivating the glue that's on there, and it's going to lay back down. See, I can get it to lay right back down, right in the place. And see, it's laid back down. Just going to come over and just going to keep going over to make sure that we got it. And then you can see it's on there, but I can just catch my fingers on it. Again, I'm just going to make sure we got it. Going to come through, and this is actually a customer's unit that we're dealing with here. So I got it nice and laid down smooth. We've reactivated the glue. I can come over here in the corner, and I can do the same thing in the corner, all the way around our little edge here that's coming down. You can see it's coming down, and we got our edge laid down there as well. Okay, the next thing, after I get it laid down, we reactivated the glue. Then I want to come back through and fix the initial problem. And the initial problem was that our edge banding wasn't trimmed all the way flush. So what I want to do, I can do it two different ways. I can use a file and come through and file it just like so. And that gives us a smooth top file. Can really come through and give it a smooth. Or I can come through with a sanding block. Now if I use a sanding block, I want to use a grit no larger than about 120. A 200 would be preferable, 180, 200. And I want to put it on an angle. See how I put the block on an angle? I want to put it on the angle so I don't scratch this top. You know, I just want to hit that layer of edge banding. And see, just real quick here, within a few seconds, I was able to fix that. Now we have another edge banding repair that I want to cover with you. We got a galley top here where I'm sure that over time customers drug his dishes off, and look what's happened. It's just sort of peeled its way back, and then people start pulling on it and start going with it. We can fix this as well. We can do it two ways. One, if the glue is still there, in which 90% of the time that glue is still going to be there, I can come back through and I can iron it. If the glue is not there, then I want to take some contact cement like I have up here, put the contact cement on it, put some tape over, put it back in place, put some tape on it and hold it in place. But this here still's got the glue on it. It's a little bit wrinkled, but I can tell you I can get that to lay back down with an iron. So I want to take my iron, and of course I got my galley top protected here, but I just come through with the iron and I can lay that right back down. Just start working it. And nice thing about the iron, you can press it as you go. See, I still got some bubbles in it. So the iron's got a nice flat surface. I can use that surface to get the wrinkles out of it. You sort of iron it. see that laid back down really, really nice. We got some glue residue here on the outside, and we'll get that cleaned up. But I can lay that back down very, very nice. Okay, now coming up through, let's see. Look, yeah, I can grab my finger on it. There's an edge there. Whenever there's an edge there, it's going to pull off. So I'll want to come through with my file, and I want to file it down. Again, if we're using a file, I don't want to get into the top, so I want to hold it at a slight angle. And then if I want to use a sand block, I can use a sand block as well, and use it as an angle as well, top and bottom. Come back through. I'll just take some cleaner and I'll get that cleaned up for the customer. Okay, so we got our edge banding up here done. We'll clean it up for the customer. There's a few other places. The edge banding on these panels. If the edge banding on the panels come loose down at the bottom, we don't want to take all that edge banding off this panel. We want to leave it there and repair it. So what we would do, we could reactivate the glue. We would come back through. If the glue was there, we would reactivate it with our iron. We would protect the floor with a piece of metal so our heat's not getting into the floor covering. And then we'd want to reactivate the glue and put it back in place. And some of the times when it comes loose on this panel, it's because that edge banding is a little long. So when it's loose, we'll just want to trim a slight, about a 1/16 off of that, so that'll lay all the way back down. Reactivate our glue, heat it, and put it into place. And again, if the glue isn't there, we'll want to come back through with some contact cement, put some contact cement on it, let it dry, get the surfaces cleaned up, prepped up real good, tape it, let it dry, and then trim it. Always, there's a reason the edge banding come loose. We got to fix that before we can let it go to the customer. Well, I'm sure you found this helpful and informative, and I just want you to remember that the edge bandings most of the time can be repaired versus just take them off the whole table or take them off the whole countertop and replace them. So until next time, I'll see you later.